Hi everyone, I hope you're having a great week. We're about halfway through week 2, our second module, and as I'm grading your discussions from the first module, which you should all see your grades by the end of the week, I'm about halfway done. I just wanted to take a moment to make sure that you really understand what we expect out of you from a discussion, from the levels and the type of information we're asking for to really help you with your learning path and help you discuss the content and gain the knowledge that you need to play an active part in using technology in your future career or current career. So let's just take a moment to review this week's discussion so you definitely know that you are addressing all of the points that you should be addressing in your initial posts and your responses. So you all did a great job last week of posting on time. So the timeliness is definitely not a factor at the moment. But I just want to take a second and read through this prompt. So for this week's module, we're really focusing a lot on business strategy and data, which data is a very big item in all businesses. I'm sure you've all heard the word data in some way or another. You all work with it every day. Every time you log in to the website here, you are providing some sort of data and consuming some sort of data. So this discussion asks you to read the case study at the beginning of Chapter 5, Database Saves the State of Washington Medicaid Dollars. After reading the case study and completing additional independent research using the textbook and online resources, address the following. So I want to stop here for a moment. It asks you to read this case study. I want to encourage you to read the entire chapter before you write your initial post so that you have a good solid frame of reference before you write your post. Um, so after you've read this case study and completed additional independent research. So what that means is go beyond citing the textbook, go beyond using the textbook as your primary source of research. Use the Shapiro library. You can do a Google search, that's fine too. Find some quality resources, articles. It can be YouTube videos of TED Talks or blogs or technical journals, anything like that to help you support your point. Now, you can start by writing your opinions and your thoughts, your own personal thoughts. In fact, you should use your own original thought to begin with, but then what you want to do is you want to start searching for things that maybe support or even counteract the point that you're trying to bring across. If you have any sorts of questions about how to do quality research, please reach out to me or reach out to the Online Writing Center. They are there for you to guide you. They are a free resource for you. Definitely please use them. You're paying for your degree, so you should definitely use the resources that we have available for you at SNU. So the next part of the prompt asks you, and this is in regards to your initial post, to consider your degree program or your selected industry, and then give an example of how knowledge management systems could be used in your selected business. So it's very important that in your initial post, you'd let us know what your degree program you're in or what career you're trying to get. Why are you here at school? Why are you seeking a specific degree so that we can understand more about you and how technology is going to play a role in your business, but then specifically give an example of how knowledge management systems could be used in your own selected business. This is where you need to understand the concept of a knowledge management system and the term so that you can apply it to your specific industry or degree program. And then secondly, describe the relationship between data and information in the context of your selected business. So you want to take that information that you just provided us and then you want to describe the relationship. This is where you want to really pull on your research, your outside research and support to not just um, not just to quote or to create your discussion, but really to support the thought, the original thought that you are trying to bring across here. So the first thing to notice here is it says respond to 2 of your peers' initial posts. Now that's a couple of you missed out on the points for this because you did not respond to at least two of your peers. Do make sure that you're doing that. Now I know that I do respond to each of your initial discussion posts, and so do your peers. Replying to your peers in your initial thread post is not what we're asking for. We're asking for you to respond to your peers' initial posts. Now, I will give you a little hint here. If I'm asking specific questions in reply to your initial post, it's probably because I'm trying to get you to answer the prompt questions from the first initial post, or if you did address them, then I'm just trying to, continue a conversation and make sure that we are getting lots of perspective and open learning opportunity for the concept at hand. But so, point being that if I respond to your posts, do make sure that you're keeping up and that you try to answer those, because if you do, then I'm going to consider it part of your initial post and you're going to have a better chance to get an exemplary standing for your comprehension. So again, respond to two of your peers' initial posts. This particular discussion is asking you to describe how the chosen knowledge system beyond those discussed by your peers can improve an organization or department within an organization. So key point being here, your peer will provide a degree program or selected industry in their initial post, and you need to choose another knowledge system that could improve that degree program or industry that they discussed, other than the one that they chose. It's okay to say, wow, you did it, this is a neat knowledge system that you picked, but here's another one. You need to say, here's another one that I think could help you improve. Second point, explain the advantages of that system, the system that you chose to reply with, and give specific examples. It's not enough to say that, hey, your company or you could use SharePoint and that could help people collaborate. That's not specific enough. You need to say, if you use SharePoint, because I know that you all in your particular industry do a lot of writing and collaborating, you could share the documents and you could work on them at the same time, and then you wouldn't have to overwrite each other or something along the lines of that. Give a specific example there, and then this is a great opportunity for you to do that outside research again and bring the support in. If you were talking about SharePoint, you could get on the Microsoft website. You would learn more about what kind of advantages that particular system has, and then you would, of course, cite an APA style, cite correctly. And then lastly, in response to your peers, I find it very helpful, and in my own personal discussion posts when I was a student, I learned that if you ask a question of your peer regarding their initial post, you're not only keeping the conversation open-ended, which is great because we want the discussion to keep flowing. The point of the discussion forum is not to just have to write many essays every week. It's to keep our in-classroom experience going and our conversations going, to keep the learning going and find different experiences and backgrounds and perspectives to enrich your education. But also, when you ask a question, it makes you think more about how to elaborate on what you're trying to ask, which in turn helps you get those points in the exemplary portion of the rubric for a meaningful, thoughtful response. So that being said, let's look at the discussion rubric linked right here. I hope you are all looking at this discussion rubric when you are writing your posts. This rubric stays the same from course to course, from discussion to discussion. So once you've kind of used it a couple times, it should become second nature. If you haven't seen this rubric before, make sure that you are always clicking on the discussion rubric link or in fact for any assignment that you have, that you're clicking on the rubric, because this is going to be your step-by-step guide on how to succeed in your assignments. In fact, if you look at your grade and you click on the detailed rubric link, you'll see that I provide feedback for every critical element, every individual element of this rubric. So make sure that you take a thorough look about the bullet points here about your initial post and your response post. I just want to highlight a couple things here. We're asking for a post of 1 to 2 paragraphs. More is fine, less is not. And we're asking you to take into consideration materials such as course content and other discussion topics, and using proper citation methods. So this is where we're asking you to do some outside research to support your original thought. So the first critical element is comprehension. This is talking about your initial post. You have four different scores you can get: not evident, needs improvement, proficient, and exemplary. And there's a total value of 40 you'll see here. So this is the greatest portion of your grade is your initial post. Um, Basically, not evident means you maybe you put one or two lines and there really didn't really have much to do with the discussion prompt. Needs improvement, you may have addressed the discussion prompt. You may have told us your degree program, what industry you're looking to go into, and maybe said a few things about knowledge management, but you didn't provide any support, outside research. You didn't really elaborate on anything. You didn't hit that one or two paragraphs. Proficient, you're using adequate organization and detail. I can see your flow of thought. I can see where you're going with what you're trying to say about your degree program and your industry, but there maybe isn't enough academic support, not outside support, or enough elaboration. You may have quoted or paraphrased some outside support, but you didn't go beyond that and elaborate. You didn't say, this is what I found outside of this source. This is what so-and-so or what company is saying about this particular system. And this is what I think it means in relation to my industry or my degree program. That's where we're going into an exemplary post, something that uses rich and significant detail. You're using multiple outside sources. You're reflecting on the textbook, and then you're taking it and you're making the connection between the textbook and the academic and professional and outside learning, making that connection to your own personal degree program, and demonstrating that with a clear writing style and a clear point of view. Okay, so timeliness, you see that there's no exemplary grade because you get full credit. You get the full 10 points if you earn the proficient, because you either posted on time, you posted a day late, or you posted 2 or more days late. And that's how you find this score here. And so far, everybody's posted on time or early, which is fantastic, and I'm really, really impressed by that. So the third critical element is engagement. This is referring to your response posts. Um, if you don't respond to your peers at all, you're going to earn this not evident grade. If you only respond to one, you're probably going to be in here. Or if you respond with maybe one or two lines about, oh, I agree, or this is my opinion on this, but you don't provide any kind of outside research or relevant response. The best way to earn a proficient or exemplary score here is to make sure that you are answering the questions that the discussion prompt asks you to answer in response to your peers. So this particular discussion prompt asks you to provide another knowledge management system outside of the one that your peer discussed that would work for their industry or degree program, and then provide specific examples of the advantages it could give their business. That's where you're going to move into the exemplary um, score here, is you provided specific examples and outside research that backed up um, what you were saying and what you were suggesting. And then lastly, you have a writing and mechanics score. If you have a number of errors in citations, you're going to be right down here in the needs improvement score. If you are scoring in this section, please reach out to me or reach out to the Writing Center so we can get you on track there. If you are in the proficient, you maybe had a couple citation errors, a couple spelling grammar errors. An exemplary, you're citing really well APA, you have a very clear and concise voice, and you don't have any mechanics, which is grammar and spelling errors. So I hope this is helpful. Please reach out to me if you have any questions, and keep up the good work.